Now, why 99% of amateur golfers will never hit irons as far as they should is because of these 5 reasons. And even if we fix one of these, we're not only going to be hitting the ball straighter, we're also going to be hitting it a lot longer. So the first reason here, and that is golfers are throwing their angles coming into the golf ball. So they're essentially early releasing or casting it, where the club gets wider away and you get to this nasty position where the club head beats the hands to the ball. So what we see quite often for players who do this, you'll not only see a short distance, because you're ultimately, like here for example, with my 8-iron, this will be turned into roughly around a pitching wedge. So it'll go very high and often a little bit to the left depending on the club face control. Now, that's where this has a very big reason to it for a lot of golfers. So a lot of golfers do this is because they have an open club face in their backswing. So with that open club face, let's say here, shaft parallel to the ground, toe up towards the sky. If that club face remains open, the only way for me to square it is to throw and early release it. As we can see, open club face and coming in with a throw, that squares up the face. If we have a little bit of shaft lean, de-lofting the club, which is what all the top players do, you're going to see the club face is going to be wide open. So those players have to, if they want to hit the ball to target with their open face, they have to throw and early release the club, where they won't get that much out of their distance. It's where you can get big, strong guys only hit, let's say, for example, they're 8-iron 120 yards, when they can get a lot and a lot more out of it. So what we want to be doing, we want to be maintaining our angle. So we don't want to be throwing the club, getting it further away. We want to maintain that nice little bit of wrist hinge there in the downswing. So then as we're coming into the golf ball, we just need to turn that body to create a good little bit of shaft lean, nice flat wrist. And that's going to be then, of course, compressing the golf ball. So as we know, open club face causes players to throw the club. So you cannot do this keeping the angles, what we want to do, with an open club face. You're going to hit the ball right. So we need to make sure that club face is nice and square. And I like to say, get it as square as you can, as early as you can. So I like to see players at shaft parallel have that nice angle to their face. They're slightly toed down, just a slight bit, matching their spine angle. So that could be, player could need to change their grip a little bit, might need to adjust that. Maybe it's a bit weak. Maybe they're having a little bit of a roll of the forearms. But we're going to get into a drill once you've squared that club face to be able to immediately maintain those angles every time. So you can see the same method of a shot, just resulting in a much longer distance. So here is our drill to fix that throwing in the downswing. So this is all done with a hack motion. This is the casting drill. So of course we could do this without as well, but it's so helpful to do it with this for the feedback. So let's say we've got our club face nice and square. Now what we do, we set up into a setup position, as we can see here from the screen, and we get up to the top. And then from there, we maintain our angle as we move down. But as we're moving down here, when I'm going to show you another rep, we want to do that with our body, not just trying to physically hold the angles, because our angles in the downswing are a byproduct of how we've moved our body. So if we get up to the top again, following hack motion, and then see how I'm shifting, I'm moving my body, but I'm maintaining this angle here. Now, with this, it gives you such a distinct feeling there. I can really feel, of course, my wrist staying in that brilliant angle. So if we just do a handful of these, getting up to the top, here we go, up to the top, and now maintaining the angle, coming down, and there we go, then we've got a good rep. So what I recommend, doing a good few of those, really repeating our motion. So again, we're getting ourselves into a good spot, really getting our angle coming down, making sure the body is moving, the arms are feeling nice and loose, we're turning. And then what you can do a few of those as a pump. 1, 2, and on the third one, turn the body through, maintain the angle. Don't care where the ball goes when you do it, because it's a hard drill to do. But I just want you to feel that angle being maintained, which is what we want again. So getting up to the top. There we go, moving the body, shifting it, making sure the arms are feeling nice and loose, keeping good angles of our club, and then just turn the body through. And there we go, a nice rep to be able to get ourselves not throwing the club. And if you want a hack motion, there is a link in the description to get yourself a nice discount. So the second reasons of why 99% of golfers will never hit their irons as far as they should is that's their hand path as soon as they come back in the backswing. So I see it so often with players, their hands just shooting right out in front of them. Now what this will do, this will disconnect your arms from your body. So you won't be able to have the power that your body can produce go through the arms. We'll normally see players get up to the top with this high arm position. normally slices of the golf ball. So you'd have a shot, really that's terrible power, but also terrible strike and horrible club path, as we're going to see there. See here at Tee to Green and Air in Scotland, we've got our TrackMan facility here, and we can see club path numbers. Look at that club path, 10 to the left. That is extreme. So if we can get ourselves to where we're having a more appropriate hand path, it moves slightly in. Jack Nicklaus always used to say that he imagined someone was holding a samurai sword right in front of his hands, and he wasn't wanting to chop off his hands. He was feeling like his hands were curving in. That classic saying, hands in, club out. What does that do? That gets the lead arm connected to that chest there. So now, as we're turning up, we're going to get into a better spot at the top of the backswing. Your left arm's going to be more across the shoulder plane, which is going to help you to swing on path. But also the power that your body can produce is going to go through the arms in the kinetic chain, and that's going to help you hit much better distance and much better accuracy as a result. So that's where you see so many tour players working on connection, maybe with, let's say, towels or what have you underneath their arms. But I've got a better drill for you. So this drill here created these results with my student. One of my online students had the exact same issue, hands going out, choppy, over the top swing, no distance, no accuracy, and then going to the after there, the substantial change, which was largely made just via hand path in the backswing. So what we did to make that massive change, which improved his golf hugely in such a short space of time, was we just got a long alignment stick, so like a swing plate here. We placed it just to where about the stick was kind of lined up with just the outside of our right leg. And then from there, we put it in a place to where, again, just like with Jack Nicklaus's analogy with the sword, just to where there's a sword just in front of us here. So if I move the hands overly out in front of me, I'm going to hit the stick straight away. So it really helps you have that visual of curving the hand path more around you. And that doesn't mean the club whipping in, because you can see if the club whips in, where do the hands go? They actually go out. So if we get those hands going in, missing that stick, it helps for downswing path as well. That's going to help you get more connected and get more easy power as a result. So the third reason here, and this is how we're moving in the backswing. So we see so many golfers have a hip sway where their lower body starts to move away. Now, a lot of players will be doing this because they're trying to get more power, really trying to laterally move into our trail side. We're having pressure going to our trail side, a little bit of weight, nothing wrong with that. But if we slide the hips, that's going to move you so far away from the target. So that's where we would often see the upper body tilt towards the target, a classic reverse pivot, to where from there, you're not going to get any speed in the downswing because your lower body now has to really work hard towards the target and your upper body has to move back away. And of course, if your upper body, that hub that is, of course, your arms are attached to, the clubs, of course, attached to your hands, which is, of course, your upper body. If that's moving away from the target, the speed isn't going towards there, and you're most likely, just like with the first, you're going to throw an ad loft just to get onto the golf ball. So if we bump those hips and sway them in the backswing, we're often going to get these high and really weak shots, quite often chunk shots for a lot of players. So that's where, as we move in our backswing, we want to make sure, yes, we still get pressure and weight into that trail side, but I want you to feel like it's getting into that inside of that trail heel. So you're turning and getting up to the top of the swing. So this is where we see quite a lot of top tour players. They'll be getting their weight and pressure into that trail side. But if I had something here, let's say for my club, and they're turning, they get further away a little bit from something right by their side. So that's where they're getting their pressure moving, they're not getting the mass of their lower body. So that means the upper body and lower body can stay more on top of each other. And then that's going to help you be able to move better in the downswing to where you're going to shift and turn with your upper and lower body, moving it towards a target, creating better compression, better low point, and better speed. So let's get to a drill to target just that. So all we need for our drill is just a wall. Now, you don't even need a club for this. So just get yourself to a wall to where your trail foot is touching the wall. Now, all I want you to do there, put your hands across your shoulders, and I want you just to turn and really feel like your pressure is still getting into the inside of your trail heel, but create a gap between you and the wall there. So get a good rotation, pressure is going into that inside the trail heel, making sure we're not hitting the wall and we're creating a gap. So that's where, let's say, swayers or reverse pivoters will be bumping that wall straight away. So you could get as many reps in there as you possibly can. You won't be able to overdo it. So that's where, of course, especially if you're still getting that weight into that trail heel, you're not going to be going forward either. So, okay, really, really good one to do. replicate that same feel into the golf ball, and we get much better shots. Okay, so number 4, and that is, as we're turning down the downswing, hanging the body back. Really, really common. So lack of weight shift. So when we see a lack of weight shift in the downswing, of course, we're not getting that energy going into the lead side. So we'll lose on speed for that. Quite often, when we're hanging back and a player turns from there, they could swing the club over the top a little bit as well. So many things can happen from this. But most commonly, you'll start to see fat shots because the lowest point of the swing arc will start to move level or behind the golf ball. That means the club is going to be entering the ground early. You can even top the ball from there. So we see so many players. I mean, you just go to your local club or local driving range after watching this video and see how often you can see this finish position. So with that foot still on the ground. So there is no excuse to do that. So that's where if your foot is still on the ground, you have not shifted your weight nowhere near enough. Now, that is where what we want to be able to do. We want to get that weight shifting. We want ideally those hips to be shifting to the point where the belt buckle is on top of your left heel or even left ankle there. That's what we would want. And we need that chest to be slightly ahead of the golf ball to cover it, to get the low point forward. And if you're doing that, you're going to get everything through and you're going to be in a really good spot. It's one of the reasons we see Scotty Scheffler have such crazy footwork is because he shifts his whole body so much, his feet can't keep properly planted on the ground. That's why sometimes he's even up here. It's not necessarily trying to do it, it's just how much weight shift with his entire body he has. So I'm going to show you a good drill, but we've got to get that body shifted if we want to create good power and good accuracy, especially with our irons. So my favorite drill to be able to teach this is called the ball forward drill. So that's where we set up in a normal spot. Now, get your ball to where it's right off the front of your stance. So just inside the left foot and get your club right out the middle, so where you've got this big gap. Now, what I want you to do is hit the ball as solidly as you can, starting from that position with ball at the front, club out the middle. Your subconscious brain will figure out what it's got to do to be able to make contact with that, and that will be more shift. So it's also going to help guys who swing a little bit over the top because they could easily swing and miss the golf ball from chopping through. So that's not going to be a good thing. But also it's going to help guys who stand up a little bit early because again, you could easily top it if you stand up whilst you're doing this drill. So all you need to think of is make contact with the golf ball as solidly as you can. Your body will do the rest. It will start to shift, it will stay down, it will swing on a better path. Absolutely brilliant drill. Again, you start to feel like you're going to fall forward when you do it. That's fine. I don't mind a player losing their balance. So let's say you've done a ton of that. Ball at the front, club out the middle. Then put the ball back out in the middle again into a normal spot. Imagine now that ball is still right out the front of your stance with that exact same feel. And just like that, you're going to notice some really nice strike. That was a really good compressed one just from doing that drill. So number 5, this is another one where go and look at your driving range or your golf course and watch people after watching this video here, because this is what you see. Absolutely 99% of amateurs do. And that is, as they're swinging and getting through the ball, their whole body points either to the right of the target or at the target. Now that might seem right to have, let's say, your belt buckle and your chest point towards the target. But what that ultimately means, that means you have under-rotated going through the golf ball. Your body has been very quiet. So that means you're going to be more arms in, as you can see there with my 8-iron, it's gone 115 yards. So not very good. So that's where what we want to see for players, we of course want the rotation to get through the ball. We want that to be the governing force of our golf club passing through the shot. That's going to help us a lot when it comes to generating speed and keeping the speed going. So if we have everything pointing to the right or at the target, we know we've had to slow down with our body going through the golf ball, resulting in lower speed. And of course, accuracy-wise really falls off. Definitely got lucky with that one, accuracy-wise, just timed it nicely. So that's where I want to see golfers at the end of their swing point everything to the left, their belt buckle and their chest pointing way left of the target. So I'm just going to try and point it at the left of the screen here. It's a really simple one, very similar to kind of like how Shane Lowry moves through the golf ball. But it really gets that body turning nicely, gets a real powerful feeling without trying to put much into it. And this is a real big talking point as well here. You're going to see how quite a lot of these swings, when I'm demonstrating the good thing to do, it looks way faster. It looks like I'm just hitting it harder. But that's because my technique is better and it's ramping up the speed. So that's where this, absolutely, if I went from one here where I'm pointing it to the right to target or at target, doesn't look very fast. I'll actually do another one. I felt actually my backswing be a little bit shorter on that one just because of the intent of stopping it short. So let's do one more. So there we go, under rotated going through the golf ball. That's very annoying, it didn't pick it up. So absolutely, it would be a lot shorter for sure. Now, if I go and get my whole body pointing left, and that'll be interesting because I hit that one, mishit it quite a bit, but still look at that distance, way, way better. So that's where, see the best players in the world, still hit bad shots with good technique. That was good technique, and that was a little bit of a toe strike, so it's not gonna make every shot perfect, but perfect doesn't exist in golf. So get that whole body pointing left in your finish. Feel like Shane Lowry, feel like Rory McIlroy. Feel like you're Irish going through the golf ball. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Click that like button, hit the bell button to absolutely be notified every time I put out a video.